And then one day I had a girlfriend named Mona. She was a stripper at 16. Her mom was gone and she would come home with all of this money. And so I'm like, girl, where you getting all this money from? She dated my brother. And she's like, girl, I work at the Rolex. And I was like, wow, what do you do? She said, I dance. And I was like, oh, hell no, you crazy. Long story short, the water's off. A friend of mine brings me to a strip club just to bring me, told me to wait in the car. I said, no, let me come in. I want to come in because I wanted to see. And I went in, and when I go in, he said, stay right here. I'm going to go in the office because his family owned the strip club. So I had on this cute black suede outfit, and I'm just standing there just innocently waiting on him to, come. This guy walks by me, and he, real big guy. He said, listen, I'll give you $600 right now if you lift up your skirt. And the first thing I was like, who are you talking to? Like, I don't like to be disrespected. Mm-hmm. So at first I looked at it as disrespect. When he walked off, I was like, dang, I could have got the money to pay my water bill, and we have no food in the house. So he ended up walking by, what's up, girl? And I was like, let me get them $600.
Welcome to the Excellence Project. My name is Eric Worre, and today we have a very special guest, my dear friend, Stormy Wellington, who is a meteor, a superstar, a rock star in the network marketing world. She's taken the world by storm, not to just use her name, but she's learned so much, she's given so much, and she's taught so much that I'm glad that she's here to share with you today her story, raw and real as it is, and how she got to where she is today and where she plans to go in the future. So I know you're going to get value from it. So with no further ado, let's jump right into my conversation with Miss Stormy Wellington. Stormy Wellington, how are you?
Excited to be here.
Like, how long have we been trying to set this up?
It's been almost a year.
I mean, it's like been ridiculous. You've been to my house probably 5 times. It just hasn't worked.
I know.
With other events going on, but I'm glad you're here.
Yep.
I'm glad we're going to have a conversation. We're going to go deep.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Because you are a very interesting character in the world of network marketing.
Character and interesting. Same sentence. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. And I don't mean that in any weird way.
Right.
I just mean you are extraordinary. And you've learned some big lessons.
Yes.
You've lived a big life.
Yes.
I heard once that you measure a life by the number of experiences that you have and the intensity of those experiences.
Okay.
So based upon that, you've had a lot of experiences and you've had some pretty intense ones.
Yep. Yep.
So you've lived quite a few lifetimes already.
Exactly. And I'm still young.
Yeah, still young, right?
Right.
You got this huge advantage over me, which pisses me off that you're younger. But with all these advancement in technology, we're going to figure out how to live till 120 anyway. So.
Exactly. I love that.
Yeah. So I want to find out. I don't know the whole story. All I know is a bit of the story.
Mm-hmm.
So you're a big earner in network marketing. Let's just let people know that up front. You've built large organizations. You built big brands. You've done big things, right? Bigger than life stuff. Fancy. Known for a lot of things. You're known for morning meditations. You're known for your rants on social. You have this huge following.
Right.
You got all this stuff, right?
Right.
You've also had some drama.
Right.
In your life.
Right.
In the past, in the recent past.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
Learning lessons as you go.
Correct.
So I think success leaves clues. We call this the Excellence Project for a reason, because in the journey, we find out lessons.
Right.
We find out things about ourselves.
Right.
And sometimes others can learn from the lessons of somebody else.
Correct.
Right. So I hope our audience can learn from our lessons of what we've gone through.
Right.
And then on the other side is there are some times when if we won't learn a lesson, the challenge will just keep repeating itself.
Exactly.
Over and over and over and over and over and
Exactly.
over and over 1,000 times.
Exactly.
Until we make a change.
Yep.
So I want to know the origin story. I want to know the come up story.
Mm-hmm.
So tell me first, where were you born? what was your upbringing like? Tell me how that all happened.
Absolutely. First of all, you said a lot of stuff.
I know.
And I am very excited to be here. Very excited to dispel a lot of misconceptions about me. To be honest with you, not that I care, but I care enough because I know that I understand a lot about this industry and I can help a lot of people. So I care.
What are the misconceptions about you that you think exist?
I think people think I'm crazy.
I think you're crazy.
People think I'm crazy. I think people think I'm weird. I think people are upset because they can't really understand, like, where am I coming from? What angle am I moving towards? Like, they don't really know. So I know that I'm very mysterious. And I don't try to be, but it is who I am. And I'll say this, Les Brown taught me this. He said, never judge a man by his success, but what he had to overcome to be successful. And that's me. So if a person really understood who Stormy Wellington really is, they'll be proud of the Stormy Wellington that I am today. So let me tell you, where did I start?
Before you get to the start.
Okay.
I wouldn't consider you mysterious.
Okay.
Me.
Okay. You.
But we've known each other for a while.
Right.
I consider you obvious.
Oh, okay.
But there's part of you that holds the cards close to your vest, maybe because of things that have happened in the past, where you don't lay it all out there.
Uh-huh.
You lay pieces of it out there, little breadcrumbs
okay.
out there.
All right.
So people might not have the full picture.
Right.
But I think it's obvious. You want to build a big business.
Yep.
You understand that in order to do that, building a big brand is going to help you do that.
Yep.
Being loud, being bold, being controversial is a tool.
Yep.
To be able to accomplish a goal.
Okay.
So, and maybe people do think you're mysterious. I don't know. I think you're everything you're doing is as plain as day to me.
Okay.
But that might not be everybody.
I don't think so.
Anyway, so we'll talk
that.
about all those things.
Okay.
So
I'll tell you. So I was born in New York. Many people don't know that. Both my parents are of Jamaican descent.
Where in New York?
Bronx.
Huh?
I was born in New York, Bronx. My mom is originally born in Jamaica, Kingston, Jamaica. My dad from Kingston, Jamaica. My mom is like an immigrant. My mom like smuggled my dad and herself to New York. So that's how we got to New York. So I'm born in New York and I ended up moving to Miami when I was about 5 years old with my mom. My mom, big hustler. My mom.
So did they break up?
Yeah. So many people, mom and dad break up. My mom gets pregnant with me. People don't know this. My mom was going to have an abortion with me at 5 months pregnant. The only reason why I'm even here today is because she was late to her doctor's appointment because the doctor wasn't going to do the abortion because it was 5 months. That's too far. But he told her if she comes to the appointment at 12 noon, he'll do it. My dad came to the house at 10 o'clock, begged her not to have an abortion with me. They fought, they argued. She got to the doctor's office at 12:15. The doctor said, I'm not doing it. So that's a part
You're
of
15 minutes away from
15
non-existence.
minutes away from non-existence. Like, that's the true story. So my mom was about to have an abortion with me because she and my dad didn't get along. That's why my name is Stormy. My mom didn't name me for 7 days. She was like, I don't know. Like, my mom didn't.
You're nameless you're just the kid.
For 7 days. My mom didn't even want to have a child, another one. I was like, I was her last child. She didn't want to have.
How many did she have prior to this?
3. I have 3 siblings, 2 brothers and 1 sister.
Okay.
So she didn't want to have me. So it took her 7 days to name me. So when she finally names me, the nurse comes in and like, you got to name this girl. What is her name? And she said, she threw up her hand and said, just name her Stormy. Kissed her teeth. Just name her Stormy. So that's my biological name. People don't know that. So Stormy Nicole, my original name was Stormy Nicole Barclay. When my mom first had me, she didn't want to claim my dad. So my dad's last name is Wellington. So I didn't know I was Wellington until I turned like 10 years old. So just imagine I'm this girl that my mom didn't want. My dad is the reason why I'm here. My mom was really stern. She didn't have a relationship with my dad. So I didn't really know my biological dad really barely until I probably was about 9-ish. My mom finally let me go around. And so who was Stormy Wellington?
Did you go up to New York?
I went to New York to visit. My dad had a new family. He had a new family. My dad, okay, so I tell people my stories like rich dad, hustling mom. My dad had a job. My dad was married. He had that beautiful family that would eat dinner at the dinner table. And so I would love to visit my dad because my dad had normalcy. He had his wife, he had his kids, he had his wife had a good job. They had dinner table and they had Sunday dinners and all that kind of stuff. But my mom was in the streets. My mom was like one of the biggest drug dealers that you could.
Really?
Yeah, she was real notorious. She was like Griselda type of drug dealer.
Really?
Yeah, like serious.
Like the documentaries you see.
Yeah. My mom, like I'm 7 years old seeing what big keys of cocaine look like.
Cocaine, yeah.
Like really. Like, so that's my story. I come up seeing drugs and guns and, you know, my mom talking about.
That was entrepreneurship of an illegal sort.
But I also saw my dad work his good job and have a beautiful family.
Yeah.
So I had the best of both worlds growing up. And when I reached the age of about...
why do you say the best of both worlds?
Because I saw both sides of the spectrum. I saw what employee type lifestyle looks like. And I saw what a freedom type lifestyle looks
hustle.
like. Yeah.
Even though it was scary and potentially
it was dangerous. My mom
dangerous.
went to prison a lot of times.
Yeah,
My mom had a lot of...
That wasn't freedom.
For me, it was.
Huh. Just because
my dad was in job
she could
jail.
Call the shots.
My dad and me, for me, was like in job jail. Like my dad, you gotta remember New York. You have to wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning. He has to shovel snow. I watched my dad out the window, shovel snow out the window at 5 o'clock in the morning. I'm looking out the window saying, no way I would be doing that. But he was proud going to his great job. My dad made probably $150,000 a year at transit. But my mom woke up when she felt like it. My mom had a luxurious lifestyle. It was dangerous, but it was luxurious. She would travel the world. She never learned how to drive. Like people don't know I have a driver to this day because I never saw my mom drive. So they think I'm being bougie, but it's like what I saw. You know what I mean? So
Can you drive?
Yes, I drive.
Do you have a driver's license?
I drive and I have a driver's license.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm just wondering.
So I saw the best of both worlds. Like there was some parts of my dad's life that I thought was pretty cool.
Yeah.
But there's more parts of my mom's life that I thought was pretty interesting. And you said something like, I looked at my mom like she's running an organization.
Yeah.
She ran a network marketing organization.
Sure.
It just was illegal. And she went to jail and she died a premature death because of it. But
Really?
I saw both. And so as I grew up.
When you say because of it?
My mom was stressed. She didn't have no real friends. She was lonely. My mom, I believe she died of a broken heart. So all of these things play a role.
In jail, out of jail?
My mom, listen to me. My mom went to prison at 54. She walked into prison at 54. She rolled out of prison at 57. So all of these things is a part of what I experienced and what I saw before I got into network marketing. You know, I saw my brother at the age of 9. Let me go back. I was in foster care at the age of 7. People don't know this. I was in foster care for 3 years.
And why was this?
My mom was in prison and my dad was off with his family.
So when she was 54.
I went to foster care when my mom was about 40. I was like 7.
So that was the first time in prison?
Yes.
It was a different time in prison?
That's the first time my mom went to prison when I was about 7 years
old. At
old.
40, and your dad's
off with his family.
Off with his family. So you went to foster care.
At 7 years old.
So what was that like?
You know, I told Lisa yesterday, I remember different men coming in my room trying to molest me at 7 years old. But I learned at 7 years old, I learned how to prevent penetration. What I would do, I would go crazy like I was having a bad dream and I would just move like a crazy lady. And every attempt never turned into the actual thing because I knew how to figure it out at 7 years old.
Good for you.
And I share that because most people don't understand, like I've been a fighter since I was 7 years old. I'm gonna figure out how to survive. When I was 7 years old in foster care, my hair was like this long. So all the girls would pick at me and want to fight me. And it would be little gangs of girls. And I learned to like be bold and I would stick my middle finger up like, come on, come fight. Cause I had no choice. It's like fight or flight, you know? So I had to figure it out since I was 7 years old. Then my mom left us with her friends. When we finally got into a certain situation, she left us with friends.
So hold on. So she got out of school.
She got out of prison.
She got out of prison.
School, yeah.
Could be school.
Right.
So she got out after how long at that time? How long
Probably
were you in foster care?
I was in foster care for like 3 years.
Okay. So you got out of foster care. And then what happens?
She's home for a little while. She sells drugs. You know what happens?
So she went back to it.
She went back. And this time she left us with friends. And this friend I loved, but this friend ended up beating us with water hose. So I used to get beatings with the green and yellow water hose. You know those?
Yeah.
I remember getting beatings with those when I was like 9 years old. And I'm the one who called Child Protective Services to rescue my brother and I because we could have got killed. And she beat us with water hose. She would feed us beets and celery. To this very day, I don't eat beets and celery because it brings back up that trauma of what I experienced. So all of this
is your mom's friend.
This was my favorite fake aunt. I thought she loved us until my mom went to prison and my mom wasn't around, so then she hated us. So all of this is what I experienced before the age of 10 years old.
So hold on. So I'm trying to get the timeline. So how old was your mom when you were born?
My mom Ah, that's a
Like
good question.
33 or something?
About 33, as a matter of fact, 33.
Okay. So at 40, when you're 7,
Yep.
you go into foster care
Mm-hmm.
for 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
Your mom gets out of prison.
Mm-hmm.
How do you end up with this aunt character?
She gets out for a little while.
She gets out for a little while and
goes
she gets
back.
caught again.
She gets caught again.
Violates her parole or
She
something.
goes back.
So she goes back for how long?
Probably a couple months, maybe like 9 months.
9 months. So during that period of time, you get put with a friend
Mm-hmm.
that
I thought
you
loved
thought
us.
was going to be great, but turned out was a damaged soul as well, and took out that damage on
Me and my brother.
you and your brother. Where are the other 2 siblings?
So my sister she ran away from home when she was 40. So I didn't know my sister until like,
Wait, hold on. She ran away from home when she was 40?
no, I'm sorry. My sister ran away from home when she was 16.
Okay.
She ran away from home when she was 16. I didn't meet my sister until she was 40.
Got it.
She ran away. So I didn't know her.
Got it.
My brother was 17, 18, 19 in the street selling drugs.
Yeah.
He was selling drugs too. So
Okay.
this is all what I seen before the age of even 10.
All right. So I'm caught up.
Yes.
So you get put with this favorite auntie who ends up being abusive, and you have the courage, which takes a lot of courage, at 10 years old,
9.
9 years old, to call Child Protective Service. Says you got to get us out of here because she's going to kill us.
Exactly.
So tell me walk me through the story of that day.
So my brother had just got out of the hospital. He was healing from 3rd-degree burns. So his whole butt is like semi-raw.
From?
He set some mattress on fire, but it burned him too.
Ah.
So my brother was a
Little
very
pyro.
severe burn victim.
Ah.
So my mom ends up going to prison. My brother and I are living with our favorite auntie. Everything is beautiful. 2 months in, she turns into this demon. She has children. She abuses us. She beats us. She gives us celery to eat and beets while her kids eat pizza and macaroni and cheese and Chinese food. And I remember this. We used to go to the neighbor's house asking them, hey, can you give us some food through the gate? Like, no food. It's like she made a mockery of us.
Did you ever ask her?
You know what?
Because
no.
she was your favorite?
No. I was 7. I couldn't understand what was happening.
Right.
So anyway, I'm looking at my brother. I could handle the beatings with the water hose, but as she's beating my brother, more skin is ripping off of him. So I was in school this one particular day, and I remember going to the guidance counselor, and I told the guidance counselor, listen, like, if you don't get my brother and I out of this house, and I actually was 7, excuse me.
Okay.
I was 7. If you don't get us out of this house, we're going to die. The day Child Protective Services came to the house, she treated us like we was the best thing. They knocked on the door. We came, Stormy and Niles, come to the front. Come. She was so nice. Oh, no, I'm not abusing them. This is not true. These are beautiful. I love these children. These are like my kids. And the Child Protective Service lady was about to leave. Okay, thank you. I'm so sorry, ma'am, for interrupting you. I said, no, don't leave us here. I ran in her room. Like this, I can see this right now. I ran in her room. I went under her bed. I got the water hose and I said, if you leave, she's going to beat us with this. And that day they packed my brother and I up and they took us to Child Protect. They took us to the foster care facility.
Wow.
I was 7. So this is Stormy Wellington that people see today. I am that girl that figured it out. And so I get emotional thinking about it. But so we was rescued. And that was really the beginning of us kind of being in the system.
Okay, so you go and is this the foster care system you go to where people are trying to
molest me?
Molest you.
Yes.
So you go from one challenge
to another
physical challenge to a mental, emotional, and physical challenge.
And I have no idea when my mom was coming. There's no Instagram, no Facebook, no cell phone, no text message, no email. I had no idea
if she's
ever coming. Yeah. Where is she? What's her case? What is going on? I have no idea, nothing.
So when this stuff is happening, do you have any options during these attempts on you sexually?
Options like what?
Like Child Protective again.
I mean, how? Like it almost felt like, when I think about it, like it was normal in the house. So the mom is not going to say anything because it's the granddaddy and it's the husband. It was like, who you going to tell? You understand? Like I was in a home. So
there was too much.
There was nobody to tell.
You.
It was nobody to tell. And then after I started to do my screaming and going crazy, they ended up leaving me alone. So I was only a victim for maybe a month. After they tried several times, they realized. Was your brother there too? My brother was there.
Okay. And did he do okay?
He was okay. I was always the aggressive one. So my brother is actually 4 years older than me, but he never stepped in to try to protect me. He wasn't that
I
guy.
think I met. Have I met?
No,
I've
not
never
this
met
one.
your
I
brother.
have two brothers. You met one of them.
Okay.
So this is my upbringing.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
not the rosiest of stories, not the white picket fence.
No.
You know, not the support and love and showing up for your games and
What?
No. You know.
I don't even know what you're talking about.
Right.
I never experienced that.
Right.
I went to church with my mom 2 times. Once for my aunt's funeral, the second time for her funeral. I don't know about Easter Sundays and put on your Easter dress and let's have dinner at the dinner table. Like, what are you talking about?
This is whereabouts in Miami?
This is in Miami.
Like Miami?
Miami. This is when I lived in Carroll City, Miami Gardens. Like I'm a Carroll City, Miami Gardens, like 305 real girl.
305 real girl.
Yes.
All right.
No Pembroke Pines, no palm trees. This is the hood, like where I'm at.
Okay. I got it.
All right,
I got
all
it.
right.
I got it. So you're in foster care. And how long did you stay in foster care?
About 3 years.
About 3 years. And so you're what age by the time you're out of there?
About 9.
About 9 years old, 9, 10, something.
About
somewhere in
9.
there.
Yep, about 9.
So you're 4th, 5th grade.
Yep.
Okay. How's school like for you?
School is like a blur. I don't really remember a lot about school. I don't really remember.
Really?
Yeah, it's like, I mean, you gotta remember I'm in a system. 9 years old, you're in and out of foster care. You're having school I remember having school in the foster care facility, but I don't really remember like school stuff. Not elementary school. I got a few middle school memories because I did drop out in the 10th grade. I made it to the 10th grade, but I don't have a lot of elementary school memories.
Did any social memories of school, of bullies or
Yeah, I used to beat people up. I was the one that beat people up in school.
Yeah, you were tough.
Yeah. I mean, you got to remember where I come from. I had no choice. I felt like everybody wanted to do something.
It's one thing to be tough. It's another thing to learn how to fight.
I knew how to fight and I was tough.
How'd you learn how to fight?
I had brothers. I'm in the foster care. You fight and you have no choice but to learn. Whatever you do, you figure out how to do it if you do it long enough.
Okay.
So I had to learn how to fight. I'm in foster care.
What do you think the teachers thought of you during this thing? It's just like, woof.
And I don't think they liked me very much. But I'm going to tell you, I was a great girl in school, in class. But it was after when the bell rang, that's when it was on. So I didn't really show that side in class. I wasn't like the clown or the bully in the classroom.
Right.
I was always respectable in the classroom. It was when the bell rang.
And what was the thing that triggered you to fight? Was it disrespect? Was it somebody bullying you? Was it somebody, talking out, saying the wrong thing, or what was it?
Disrespect.
Disrespect.
Like if you look at me crazy, or if you bump into me, if you bump into me and don't say excuse me, like that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Step on my feet, that like you didn't know, like that. Like I was big on respect in school.
Yeah.
You talk to my boyfriend, don't play with me. We're gonna fight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you have boyfriends at the time?
In elementary school, I don't know, but in middle school, yeah, I had always had boyfriends.
Always had boyfriends?
Always. I always was the girl that the guys wanted.
Always.
Absolutely. They just had to have some money.
to be able to just like
I didn't have my mom around. I was the girl that needed help. I needed my hair done. I needed my nails done. I needed lunch money.
Right.
Yeah.
So
if you dated me, you had to have some money.
You had to have some money.
You had to. I didn't care about anything. You had to have a car and some money.
Like what was the song? No Scrubs.
I don't want no scrubs.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't do that. Yeah. I was that girl. Yeah.
All right.
I grew up very fast.
Yeah, no, I get it.
I didn't have a childhood.
I get it.
Like I didn't have time to be a punk. I didn't have time to cry. I didn't have time to, when is my mommy coming? I didn't have that type of time.
And you make it to the 10th grade.
To the 10th grade.
And what is the reason why you say, I'm dropping out?
I got pregnant. I had my child in the 10th grade.
Ah.
I had my son who is now 27. His name is Hennessy DeAndre Pearson. I had him in the 10th grade.
Okay.
So after I had him, who was going to babysit him? Who was going to keep him? Who was going to provide? Like I moved out of my mom's house when I had him.
Okay. And your mom came back when?
How old were you? She came back when I was about 10.
Okay.
About 10.
Okay.
And we lived together.
So you lived together and had a reasonable life for those 6 years.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
Reasonable. But did she go straight back to the same life?
My mom, let me tell you something. My mom was a phone sex operator. So I remember her talking on the phone, being sexy, long black hair down the middle of my back. Like I could hear her now. Like I remember that. And my mom sold drugs. That's all I remember of my mom from a career wise.
1-900 numbers.
They would call. She worked from home, so
Huh.
she worked from home, and they would call in, and she would turn into whatever character she needed to be for the phone sex job that she had. I forgot about that.
Crazy. So that, but it put a roof over your family.
Oh yeah, she
over your
worked.
head?
She worked from home. My mom didn't work very long. She was always a drug dealer. She sold cocaine and weed my whole entire life. Yeah. So she didn't really like the phone sex thing, but when she tried to clean up her act, that would be her career shift. I'm gonna go back to phone sex. That was her default business all the time.
Okay.
So phone sex, drugs. That's it. No in between.
Because I mean, she had been in prison several times.
Several times.
So I'm sure there were people watching.
Yep. Of
you know,
course.
Parole and
Of course.
all this stuff.
All of that. So when she tried to clean up her act, she would go back to phone sex. But then you gotta remember, all her clientele was always looking for her. So she would go from being, a big drug dealer to exclusive. Like you had to be her friend. You know what I mean?
Friends and family
Friends
only.
and family only. Yeah.
Referral only.
That's it. There you go. You don't just come in and
private
out.
membership.
You come and chill a little bit, get your stuff, and you kind of chill, then you leave. So it doesn't feel like drug dealing. It feels
it's
like
not on the corner.
that's my friend. Yeah, I'm hooking my friend up with his or her fix.
Yeah. So during this time, did you ever dabble in any of those substances?
No. When I was a kid, my mom smoked weed every day. Like my family are weed. Well, marijuana is not a drug to us. It's a herb. The Bible says every seed bearing tree, every tree bearing seed shall be consumed. I heard that a long time ago. So for us, that's not a drug. So she smoked her weed every day. And my mom was a functional crackhead for a very long time. So I know what that looked like. Like to this very day, I don't like to hear the flicker of a lighter because I know the consistency of the flicks that my mom used to flick for her cocaine and the flicks for her cigarettes and the flick for her weed. So my ears triggers every time I hear click. I know, I'm like, okay, what is she doing? So my mom was on crack and cocaine. And I know that my mom was on it, my dad was on it, my brother was on it, my other brother was on it, my sister
dad
was
on it with his big job.
No, that dad, I said, I'm sorry. I have two dads.
Two dads, all right.
I have two dads. So my biological dad, no, he kept his big job. He was fancy. To this day, he's still fancy. But my other dad was more of a marijuana smoker, but my family have addictive nature. So my sister, my brother, my mom was crackheads for a long time. Both of my brothers, like on the street.
I think the whole world has an addictive nature.
So I'm afraid. So no, I never would
of
try.
something.
Yeah.
They're addicted to work. They're addicted to something.
That's good.
Video games. They're addicted to screens.
Yep.
They're addicted to movies. They're addicted to TV.
Yep.
They're addicted to something.
Yep.
I think we're wired that way.
Yep.
To get our dopamine hit one way or the other.
Some way, right? Yep. So no, I never, no.
Not once?
When I was a kid?
Yeah.
No. My mom tried to get me to smoke because she said I needed to calm down. When I was 13, my mom used to tell me, smoke this, you need to relax. But I didn't when I was a kid, no.
So I'm of the belief, it's not a popular belief, that weed is I don't even know if that's what they call it anymore. But if it's started at a young age, it's damaging.
I agree.
It'll it's an ambition killer
I agree.
for about 10 years.
I agree.
If it started like age 25 and above,
it's different.
No harm, no foul.
Yep.
Your brain is formed enough that it's not gonna like suck all the ambition out of your body.
Exactly.
That's my opinion.
Right.
I'm certainly not an expert, but I have family members who started young.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I understand.
And it basically stopped their development from that point until they found it again.
Yep.
10 years later or something.
Yep.
And then they started from that point.
Wow.
Moving forward. Anyway.
Well, thank God, no, I did not. And I'm glad I didn't.
Yeah. But you had to party a little bit in Miami.
Oh, I partied a lot. Like I remember I was a stripper at 13.
No, hold on.
Yeah, I did party.
We skipped right past stripper at 13.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
So how do how do you go from like 13 is 8th grade?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So how do you get a job as a stripper at 13 in the 8th grade? How does that work? Just lie and tell them you're 20, 21 or whatever?
Yeah, get a fake ID. I mean, that's easy.
You got a fake ID.
Yeah.
And,
Say you're 21.
And that was the way you're going to make some money.
I did. I made money to pay the bills at 13.
So there has to be stories there.
A lot of stories, of course. I got a lot of them. I can give you one. Want to give you one good one?
Sure.
So my first time experiencing the strip club, it wasn't like something I was so excited to do. Like I wasn't a girl that went to the strip club so I could buy me some shoes for school. No, I could go get my hair done.
Right.
No, my water was off at my house for like 2 weeks and I didn't know when my mom was coming home. This time my mom went to Jamaica. She left us with her freak boyfriend who was in the room. All he did was watch porn every day. I knew it because I used to hear the sounds. I used to think my mom was home sometime, but it was him in the room being him. The room door didn't have a doorknob, so he used to put a sock in there. And sometimes I'd be like, oh, my mom is home. And I was looked to peek, and then that's when I discovered that he was this big freak. So my mom goes to Jamaica. She leaves us with this big time freak, her boyfriend, and the water gets disconnected. And I'm thinking, like, he's a man. He's going to pay the water bill, right? No, we had no water for like 2 weeks. I would take gallons of water, Zephyr Hill waters, and take showers with it. I would go to the gym and take a shower with it. And then one day I had a girlfriend named Mona. She was a stripper at 16. Her mom was gone and she would come home with all of this money. And so I'm like, girl, where you getting all this money from? She dated my brother. And she's like, girl, I work at the Rolex. And I was like, wow, what do you do? She said, I dance. And I was like, oh, hell no, you crazy. Long story short, the water's off. A friend of mine brings me to a strip club just to bring me, told me to wait in the car. I said, no, let me come in. I want to come in because I wanted to see. And I went in, and when I go in, he said, stay right here. I'm going to go in the office because his family owned the strip club. So I had on this cute black suede outfit, and I'm just standing there just innocently waiting on him to, come. This guy walks by me, and he, real big guy. He said, listen, I'll give you $600 right now if you lift up your skirt. And the first thing I was like, who are you talking to? Like, I don't like to be disrespected.
Mm-hmm.
So at first I looked at it as disrespect. When he walked off, I was like, dang, I could have got the money to pay my water bill, and we have no food in the house. So he ended up walking by, what's up, girl? And I was like, let me get them $600. So I'm 13 years old. I look like a woman because I was always mature. And all I did was lift up my skirt. He gave me $600. And I was like, shoot, I like this. I went home. I went home. I paid the water bill. I bought some groceries. I never forget. I literally took $300, paid the water bill, $300 bought grocery. I did nothing for myself. I put food in the house for my brother and I to eat. And I bought, paid the water bill. And then like a week later, my friend was like, girl, I could get you a fake ID. And that began my journey in the strip club at 13. So I would go to school during the day and I would dance at night.
Fascinating. So I've personally never understood the whole ecosystem of a strip club personally.
What do you mean?
I don't understand the ecosystem. I understand it, but I don't understand what's in it for the guy, because the guy's going in, he knows that the girl is not really into him.
He doesn't know that.
If he has a brain cell in his body,
he
knows. And he also knows, he should know, that the woman is looking at him like an ATM machine and to see how many dollars she can get out of him.
Mm-hmm.
So I would have no interest at all of wanting attention from somebody who was actually internally disgusted by or looked at me like an ATM machine and didn't really have any real desire.
Mm-hmm.
So I saw the picture real fast and I was just like, no, this makes no sense at all.
Mm-hmm.
And I had business partners that were like really into it, so they dragged me along, and and the most fascinating thing is I would go and I would sit there and they'd like, you want to dance? Like, no, I don't want to dance.
Right.
And, but I just have a conversation, talk to the DJ, talk to whoever. And pretty soon I'm talking to everybody and they're not looking at me like an ATM machine. And it was a completely different thing, a different vibe.
Right.
And they put me in a different category
Exactly.
mentally.
Exactly.
Because the moment $1 went across,
Exactly.
you're an ATM machine.
Exactly.
How many more dollars can I get?
Exactly.
You know, it's just like, you know, let's run away together. Let's go on vacation together. Let's do all this,
Exactly.
all this stuff together. See how
Exactly.
many dollars you can get.
Exactly.
The whole hustle. There's that Jennifer Lopez movie with about her being a stripper with a couple other girls, and they were drugging guys and doing all that stuff. I don't know if you saw that movie.
No.
Anyways, fascinating, true, based on a true story. Anyway, I never understood it. I just the same way I didn't understand prostitution, because wanting to sleep with somebody that didn't want to sleep with you,
Right. It's weird, right?
is not something that would be emotionally satisfying to me in the least. But from the woman's point of view, I get it. From the ability, some guys want attention, or they're so visually triggered, or getting a little bit of attention triggered, that they're willing to pay. So I understand from a woman's point of view, guys are stupid.
Right.
They're an ATM machine.
Right.
Let's see how many dollars I can get.
Exactly.
You know, I'm sure it's like backstage, you know, let's see who's the best hustler out there.
Exactly.
To be able to see who can pull the most dollars.
Yeah.
I'll bet you I pull more than you.
Yeah, pretty much.
Right?
Yeah, that's how it goes.
So, but did it damage your overall view of men, that there was this transactional nature in them, and that and for future relationships, did it ever have an impact on your relationship with men because of that early kind of like, this is how they're wired?
I wouldn't think so. I will say that you're like that because your mindset is different. You have personal development, you have values, you have morals, you have principles. But there's people that don't have values, morals, principles, or have not been personally developed to your level, and they got money too. So the money doesn't mean that they have the same mindset. So it was just the mindset. But for me, I get annoyed with stupid men. Like if you let a woman just take your money and you're stupid, like I get very turned off. So it may have affected me that way, because I feel like when you are in any kind of relationship with anybody, it should be some type of reciprocity. I don't think that damaged me. I think it made me now think, okay, what is the give and take from both parties? Because I think if I give to you, you should be able to give to me. And if I take from you, you should be able to take from me, versus it feeling like a one-way street. So I don't think it affected me in a negative way. I think I more so look for relationships that involve reciprocity. I think that it being a unequal value exchange is not fair.
Yeah.
I don't
Values can be all different kinds of things.
Yes, of course. But like you said, like a man coming to a strip club, spending his money, really believing that he's going to possibly have some type of relationship with this woman, it does help satisfy some men's fantasy. But the mere fact that both of them think that they're going to have this happy life goes to show you that mental illness is real. Because even if he thinks he could have something with her, that's weird. And if she thinks she can have something with him, both ways, it's not what we would think with a conscious mind. So I understand both ways. I understand unconscious and people that are conscious. And I respect both. And if you're doing it for a living, that's what you got to do, then hey, do what you got to do.
So let me ask you a question that might flip this on you. You might have to think about it for a second.
All right. Okay.
You've become very successful.
Yep.
Have any men viewed you as an ATM machine?
I think so. Of
so
course.
Like they'll come into your life and they're like, let me see how much I can get. You know, let me see if I can show her a little love and attention.
Exactly.
And then she's going to buy me a car, or she's going to pay my bills, or
exactly.
I'm just going to be around, or,
exactly.
You know, so did it flip?
I think so. I think a few men came around for what they could get.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
How long did it take for you to figure it out that they were doing that?
So this is the Excellence Project, right?
Yeah.
my mindset is very different, right? Let's just say you are getting something from me.
Uh-huh.
If I'm getting something from you and it may not be money, it may be something else. I look at value in different ways.
Right.
So for me, as long as there's equal and mutual reciprocity, I'm not offended. To you, you may think the money is way valuable. But for me, I probably needed your time, or I needed the imagery of what it looked like with what we had, or I needed the conversation, or I needed the protection. Like, I've done things that I knew wasn't what other people would understand, but I had my own reasoning behind why I did it.
Mm-hmm.
So nobody has ever taken advantage of me.
Right.
They may have gotten money, but for me, what I got was way more valuable than a little money. I could always make more money. But what I got from you within that time, I needed it at the time. So I'm not afraid to get what I need, even if it may be me exchanging a little bit of money for what you're giving me in return.
Right.
That's my mindset.
All right. Got it. That's a mature mindset. Because a lot of people get cynical. It's just like, oh, I can't trust nobody. I mean, everybody's coming in trying to get a piece.
That's okay.
The aspect of having somebody in your life who doesn't earn like you earn. For some, I've talked with lots of powerful women, high earning women, strong, confident, bold, branded, badasses. And they struggle finding a man that can handle them.
Mm-hmm.
And it bothers them, for the most part, on a psychological level,
Mm-hmm.
if they're who they're with is not earning somewhere in the neighborhood of what they're earning, or if they feel like they're out earning and they're buying dinner all the time, they're doing all that stuff. Sometimes they want to feel like a woman. Sometimes they want to be, feel like they've got safety and security outside of just themselves. But they find it difficult. The badasses out there find it difficult. So I see two different kinds of responses. One is they stay single and keep searching for the badder ass, for somebody that can handle them, somebody that can, they can feel is on their level. They can have a peer relationship when it comes to intellect, conversation.
That's right,
where
right.
It's going, all that. So they'll wait it out. And even if that means not being with somebody for a minute, fine. Or two, which is heartbreaking, they settle for weak men. They settle for somebody who will just be that support system behind them that is never going to be at their level. It's not going to think how they think. They bring some sort of value, otherwise, some sort of attraction, some sort of something. But when you look at them, I have some friends that are, female beasts when it comes to entrepreneurship and mindset, personal growth, and all that stuff. And I look at the guys they're with, and I'm like, one of these things does not belong here. This does not make sense to me at all.
Right.
Like, how did this happen?
Right.
Because
it don't make sense.
It doesn't compute.
Right.
So does any of what I just said make sense to you at all from your journey?
It does. And I'll tell you, I probably have a very unpopular perspective on that.
All right.
And I don't know how you're going to feel about it.
I'm open.
But I'll tell you, for me, okay. So number one, I think that we should not just use money as the marker or the measure to determine who the man is.
Agreed.
I've seen some very pretty shallow, narcissistic men with a lot of money.
100%.
That you got to open the door for them. They're like, when you gonna send me some flowers? When you gonna take me on a trip? And they got money. So I've learned that money is not the only value proposition that a man can possess. I've learned to look at, first of all, if you come to me and you need something from me financially, I'm not interested. I used to give people a chance. I don't do that no more. Number one, you can never need $1 from me. I'm sorry. Don't ask me for anything. So I'm in a new relationship, and like that's important. Like I didn't tell him that, but that was one of the things that I looked for early, because I've dated guys that they have no problem in a couple of weeks asking you for a loan, giving you this big deal, business deal they got, and it sounds real good. And this guy drives a Benz, this guy drives a Cadillac truck, and then next you know he's coming to you with his business deal for you to fund it or support it or help him with it, and it sounds good. I've got caught in that kind of position before, but the good thing for me is anytime I do anything monetarily, I get some type of collateral. So
you've learned no more of that.
Oh no. I probably lost about
even if the sex is great.
Oh yeah, I'm not giving you
even if the emotional support is great.
First of all, if you ask me for money, I'm gonna have zero respect for you.
You're done.
I'm done. So I'm not pretending anymore. Like it's
so
okay.
So earlier in the conversation, you were saying you're okay offering up some money, and so long as you were getting some exchange for it.
Right.
But you've learned since then.
I don't do that no more.
You don't do that no more.
No, but I did do it for a season.
Because that didn't work out for you long term.
And
eventually you lost respect.
Let me tell you what happened. So I've been in a situation where monetarily you gained more, but what you gave me at the time, I needed it. Like I just needed it. And I oftentimes look at what's happening to me financially based upon who's in my life. So if I made 20 million and I was hanging around you, or 5 million or 10 million and I was around you, that's better than when I was making 100,000 a year. So it's something you gave me. You drove for me. You made me feel safe. You carried my bags. You made sure the hotel room was booked. So you might have made a couple dollars, but you was like kind of like my assistant, kind of like, and my friend. And I needed that support. Yeah. And I learned that after a while, I started losing respect for you. And then when I lose respect for you and I keep you around, I lose respect for me. So I'm never losing respect for myself again. So I'm not bringing a man around or keeping a man around. That it doesn't mean he have to have the same amount of money I have. But do not ask me for nothing. Do not ask me for $1. Do not need to drive my car. Do not need to live with me because you have nowhere to live or you're in between places. I've been in all of that before. Do not ask me to co-sign for your car because your credit is not that great. Like I've done all of these things that I'm talking about. I'm not doing it anymore. I'm not paying for every date. There's sometimes I want to pay, but if I'm always paying for the date and I'm always paying for the trip and I'm always paying for the outfits, no, I've done all of that before. I'm not doing it anymore.
Yeah.
And I did it because I thought, I have the money, or I'm being nice, or I wanted them to know that I'm not like other girls. That doesn't work. So now, no, don't need me for nothing. Don't ask me for my car. Don't need no money.
How does that extend to family? The same mindset.
Oh, I don't loan money to nobody. Like nobody can borrow money. Like money, let me tell you something. I've learned.
Because did it get weird with family too when you got successful?
Yeah, they want to borrow money. They want to hold your car.
Borrow?
Yeah.
They just want it.
Yeah, they say
they'll
borrow.
call it borrowing.
They call it borrowing.
But they're not going to give it back.
Never. So no, I have a no loan policy. And if you ask me for something, you better give me some collateral. And by the time I make you feel this small, you're not going to even want to ask me for anything anymore. So I don't loan money to people. And if I do, you're giving me some pretty nice collateral that you might not even want to borrow money from me anymore. Because
it helping them doesn't really help them.
No, because
even your kids.
Yeah. You give them money, they're going to come back and want more money.
Right.
You give them fish to eat for a day, you teach them fish to eat for a lifetime. And the same person always come back and have a problem every few months. It's another problem, another problem, another problem. And you keep, enabling the problem. So no, I don't loan money.
I've struggled with that.
Oh no, the answer is no.
Were you always strong with that,
No.
or did you figure that out? How long ago did you figure out that you weren't going to give money without big collateral?
I probably figured this out about 2 years ago.
Okay, so it's recent.
You give them money and then they hate you. Like I hurt myself. I might as well not. I'd rather not loan you money and you fall out with me for something else. But let's not fall out because you don't want to pay me back.
Right.
I had it happen to me too much. I was like, I'm not doing this no more. So when you ask me for something, I'm going to make you feel so small, you're going to wish you didn't ask me. Give me your car. Give me your deeds. Give me your jewelry. I have deeds to people's houses right now because people borrow money from me. I need to go collect their house or something. I have jewelry. I have bags. I have all kind of stuff from people that borrow money from me. That's the collateral till they pay me back.
Mm-hmm.
I might wear it and put it on social media one day. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. But that's how I.
But that's 2 years
prevent.
ago.
2
What
years
was
ago.
the straw that broke the camel's back that just said, you know what, no more?
My friend borrowing money from me and getting mad. Like, first of all, you
Like,
borrow
why
money
are
from
you
me.
asking me for to pay you back?
Yeah, and you don't need it. Like, wait a minute. It's not the money. It's the principle. You told
Yeah,
me
it's
you're
so
going to pay me
easy
back.
for you.
Yeah.
You know, it's hard for me.
Yeah.
Why are you working so hard if you're not willing to help your friends?
Right. And then they don't support you either. The same person that borrowed money from you never like your post, never attend an event. They know you need people bodies. Sometimes we just need bodies. Come be a body. Repost my banner. Like my picture. Comment. They don't do any of that but want to borrow money. No, the same business that you don't want to promote, you don't want to show up to the meetings, that's how I make the money. So why you want the money that you're not trying to support me in the same? No. So I don't play at all. And I don't care if you hate me and never talk to me again. I'm not loaning money.
Damn it. I was going to ask you for some money today.
Oh, no. You got collateral. I would love this house.
So, all right. So this is all great foundation, and it helps me understand who Stormy is.
Good.
What she's gone through.
Great. Thank you.
I'm glad you're in a you look like you're in a very, very lovely new relationship.
Very lovely.
You look happy.
I am.
And I'm glad you're happy.
Finally.
Glad you got a smile on your face.
Yes.
That's really, really good. You have a baby in 10th grade, 11th grade.
10th grade. I dropped out in the 10th grade.
Yeah,
I didn't make it to 11th grade.
Yeah, but you have a baby by about then.
10th grade.
16, 17?
15. I had him at 15.
15.
15.
You have him at 15 years old.
Yep.
What does your life look like then? What are you doing?
I'm a woman. I'm a real woman. I have my own apartment, me and his father.
So father stayed around.
Father stayed around. Yes, he stayed around. He was in the streets. We were scammers. We used to write bad checks and take the stuff back and sell it. And we used to assume people's identities. We used to get fake IDs and go in the store and buy stuff as other people. I was like a real blue collar crime girl. Go in the bank, cash checks. I was 15 years old. Then I would strip at night. Then we'll go to Home Depot and we'll buy stuff and we'll sell the gift cards, and I'll go to the bank, cash a check.
How did you never ever get
caught? Let's say I could teach finesse. I'm good at what I do. What do you mean? I got caught one time so I went to this jewelry store and they called the person and the person answered the phone and they was like, oh, I went to jail one time when I was 16, but they didn't, I didn't get convicted or anything. So it's not on my record. But I did go to jail and was in a holding cell for a few hours. I never told nobody this story, by the way.
Okay.
So I did go to jail one time at 16.
You visited?
I visited for a few hours. My mom came to get me. So
how do you there's no, you have to know that can't be the whole story for you at age 16.
Exactly.
So at what point do you realize that this life of petty crime, this street life, is not your future?
When I had my daughter. So I had my son from one man at 15. Then I get pregnant at 19 with my daughter, Manaya. So when I have Manaya and she's a girl, I'm like, I can't have my daughter thinking that stripping and scheming and scamming is the way to be. So at 19, I opened up a boutique. So I started off selling clothes. I used to go to the magic shows here in Vegas at 19. I bought my house at 18. So after I gave birth to my daughter, I decided to totally change my life. And at first it was just...
What if it was another son?
You know what? I think I would have stayed doing what I was doing. That's a good question.
Until you got caught?
I don't know. Until I felt like it was time to change. But I would have probably still been doing what I was doing. My daughter is what made me change.
Isn't it funny, these defining moments?
I didn't even think of that.
These little things.
Yep. My daughter.
Your daughter shows up.
My daughter shows up.
And you say, I have to show a different story.
Exactly.
So you start selling clothes.
First, I sold clothes out the truck of my car.
Okay.
T-shirts. I would go down to 5th Ave, 20th Street in Miami. I would buy t-shirts for $5, sell it for 30, buy stuff for $10, sell it for 40.
Where were
So,
you selling it?
out of the trunk of my car. I would like I'll go to a nail shop, I'll pop my trunk anywhere. Like if I saw you, hey, you want to buy some clothes? Like I would, flag you down.
So this idea of selling, prospecting, being out there having conversations with people was not a new thing for you when you finally got introduced to direct sales or network marketing. It was like, oh, this is easy.
Yeah, prospecting is what we did in the strip club. You
Yeah.
don't just stand there and get a dance. You got to ask somebody. Like the ladies asked you, did you want to dance? I always prospect and recruited since I was a stripper at 13.
So learning that rejection didn't mean nothing.
It took a long time. I honestly did not learn to deal with rejection in a great way until network marketing. But it was hard. Yeah, I used to hate getting rejected in the strip club. I hated when I got rejected when I sold clothes. But network marketing is where I grew the tough skin about rejection. I changed my whole perspective on rejection in network marketing.
All right, so we're going to get to network marketing. But so you're selling clothes.
I'm selling clothes out the trunk of my car.
And you do that for how long?
From the age of 19, oh my God. So I used to make clothes. Like I could take your pants and turn it into a skirt set, a whole skirt set. Yeah. Wow. So I used to make clothes. I used to custom make clothes. So I was in the fashion industry. I used to do fashion shows and everything. I had kids clothing store. I had My Child Clothing. Stepping in Style was the name of my first store. Stepping in Style, okay, Hotspot Clothing was in Opelika. Stepping in Style was in Miami Beach. And My Child Clothing was in Carol City. And I had clothing boutiques and everything selling out of the trunk of my car from the age of 19 to about the age of 25.
Okay.
And then I got a job as a TSA agent. I used to work at the airport. I used to wear those ugly uniforms. And I used to pat you down.
Because there can't be any money as a TSA agent.
So do you remember 9/11?
Yeah.
I literally got out of the fashion world at 9/11. 9/11, I had to close my store down for renovations and stuff. And while I closed my store down, somebody sent drugs to my store illegally. And it just caused this big problem. Like somehow they sent the drugs and the police was looking for somebody. And I was like, you know what? This is too much. So I closed down. And that's when I was just defeated. And I was like, I'm not doing another boutique. And I went to get a good job.
Was the boutique a hard business? Must have been a hard business.
It was a job.
It couldn't have been.
It was a job. Profitable. I had to open the doors.
Trading time for money.
Yeah, but I made a profit. I would buy stuff for $10 and sell it for $40. So I had a $30 profit. So that's really what made me understand network marketing. Between the drugs and the scripting and the boutiques.
You were a TSA agent.
I was a real
patting people down.
I made $13.25 an hour. And my goal was to be a customs officer. That was my next step, was to be a TSA agent and then
nobody
a customs
would
officer.
have been able to sneak past you if they weren't like straight up with their answers. You'd smoke out any like nefarious person trying to come through the border in 2 seconds.
Yeah, but you know what? I'm glad I didn't get that job because I was the type of person I would be like, oh, just go. Hurry up.
Just go.
I understand. Hurry, go. I don't need that job. So that's why God didn't give it to me.
So, all right. So TSA agent for how long?
I was a TSA agent for about 2 years.
Okay.
2 years. And then I'm going to be honest with you, I felt like a peasant. I hated the job. The women would come through looking cute, throwing their bag on a conveyor belt, being rude and nasty and looking at me crazy. I do not like disrespect. But I was also inspired. I used to look at them and be like, God, I want to do that one day. Look how cute she is with her suitcase. That's why to this very day, I love pulling my suitcase. I'd be like, I got it. Because it was so amazing seeing the girls with their cute outfits and their Chanel bags and their Louis Vuitton luggage. And they're like, it just was like, just so amazing. And I like went AWOL on the job one day and just didn't come back.
I'm done.
Yeah, I'm sick of these girls.
All right. So you've got like 2 kids now.
2 kids.
One's like 12.
All right, yeah, maybe. Okay.
Something like that.
Yeah.
And the other one's like 8.
Yep. That's about right, man.
Okay. And then you quit, and then what do you do?
So I went to Atlanta for Freaknik.
What's that?
Oh, you don't know what Freaknik is?
I do not.
Okay, so Freaknik is like, like the white people spring break weekend?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's the black version of it.
Okay, got it.
Okay, so it's called...
I'm learning things.
Yes, it's called Freaknik. So Atlanta has something called Freaknik. All the black people, this is when like all the South Side Boys and all these songs that all the black people love was popular, like dancing songs. This is when you would go outside and dance and spray the water hose. This is that era,
Okay.
People would drive down the streets with their big cars. So Freaknik was a weekend where a bunch of blacks and rich people got together just to party, drink, have sex, meet people, boom. And that happened in Atlanta. So I went to Atlanta and I had never seen that many successful black people.
That is my impression of Atlanta as well. The same as DC.
Exactly.
I was like, wow.
Exactly.
If I was black, I'd be living here.
Exactly.
Because
so there you go.
This is just examples in every direction of entrepreneurs, professionals, powerful people. So you get this vision
exactly
of
success
for people
like me, that look like me.
That look like you. Hey there, just a quick interruption, especially for network marketers. Whether you're just starting out or if you're ready to level up, GoPro Academy has just what you need to take your network marketing business to the next level. Get step-by-step training on how to get started or restarted the right way, and then get everything you need to earn 6 figures or more and become a network marketing pro. To learn more, just visit goproacademy.com. I've helped millions of people learn how to recruit, tens of thousands of people to reach 6 figures, and I've personally helped more than 1,000 people achieve 7-figure incomes and above in network marketing. I can help you too. Head to goproacademy.com today, and I'll see you there.
So I'm in Miami, and I love Latino till this day, and that's all I saw. When I saw success, either you was white, right, or you was Latino. And if you were black and you had success, you sold drugs, or you did taxes, you did scams, or you was a stripper, or somebody's baby mama. That's all I saw. So when I went to Atlanta and I saw black people, successful businessmen and women, entrepreneurs, real estate investors, distributors, I was like, whoa, like, what do you do? And they were smiling and waving. I was like, okay, I wasn't used to that. And that's when I really opened up my eyes. And I was like, black people could be successful. Because every person I saw was a football player or, like I said, an athlete or in the drugs. And so when I went to Atlanta changed my life. And before I actually left, from being a TSA agent, it was when I went to Freaknik. And after I visited, I was like, I gotta get out of Miami. If I stay here, I'm gonna be broke. I used to live in State Road 9, which is the hood, in these apartments. I lived in apartment 305. That used to be my brag. Oh, I live in apartment 305, And so after I saw the success in Atlanta, I decided to just step out on faith. I packed everything in my BMW. I had a BMW X5. One of my boyfriends had got me a BMW. He paid the car note up for 2 years. And I packed it up and I gave my apartment to my son's father because we were like friends to the day, we're friends. And I took whatever I could put in my car. I had a jar full of change. I put it in the machine. It came out to $135. And I took that money, my faith, and my truck full of stuff, and I moved to Atlanta.
What about the kids?
My daughter was living with a friend of mine.
Okay.
My son was with his dad. And I went to Atlanta.
Trying to find your life.
I was trying to pursue the happiness again. I was trying to figure out what Stormy Wellington wanted to do. I knew I wanted to be a millionaire. I used to think I was going to have a rich baby daddy or a rich man. And that didn't work out. That's why I have 2 different baby daddies, actually 3 now, because I was trying to find a rich man and it never worked. Yeah. So I discovered network marketing in Atlanta.
In Atlanta.
That's when I tried Mary Kay, but I didn't really get it. But when I really understood the power of network marketing was when I moved to Atlanta and got recruited.
Okay. So tell me about this first time somebody lays it all out to you. What's going through your mind?
So interestingly enough, when
a guy or a girl? A
guy. I've never been recruited by a woman. A woman never recruited me. So I moved to Atlanta.
Do you have any thoughts as to why?
Yeah, I do. Women are intimidated by me, a lot of them. If you don't own who you are as a woman, you couldn't even look me in the eye for a long time.
Okay.
So women are just too afraid of me. They just need to woman up a little bit more.
All right.
And I'm not impressed easily by women. I could see through all that little stuff they do. Remember, I used to be a stripper. So all that little finesse stuff that they try to do, it doesn't work on me. Men are very direct and they like, this is what it is. So anyway, so I moved to Atlanta. I was doing real estate at first. That's how I actually got, first let me go back. I was a bartender. Yep. I used to work in the club selling, being a bartender. Then I used to work at Nordstrom's. I worked at Nordstrom's when I first moved to Atlanta. And that's when I started to learn the power of just networking, period. Because
meeting people.
Because in retail at Nordstrom's, for example, if people buy from you, you make a percentage off of the sales. And if they return it, you could lose money as well. So retail, that's when I really got back into my retail game. And I would go places just to meet people, to invite them to the store. And I quit that as well. Then I got in real estate. Again, everything was about building relationships. So I did really well in real estate for about 2 years. And then literally right when I got in and started getting some traction, that's when the market crashed. I don't know if you remember that big crash around 2008, 2009.
Yeah.
And so here I am with 4 properties. You know, I was doing well.
They ain't selling.
Can't sell. Responsible
Nobody's
for all the
buying.
rents. Nobody's buying. The banks are not closing deals. And my home in foreclosure. And I went to this party one night with one of my friends. And this guy kept just being extra friendly with me. And I ended up giving the guy my phone number. And I wasn't even going to go to the party with my friend. She dragged me to this party. And so this guy is being extra friendly with me. I give him my phone number. Long story short, my house. I couldn't afford to pay the rent. My house went into foreclosure. My mom comes home from prison. She rolls in at 57. Walks in at 57, rolls out at 59. So when my mom comes home, we're about to lose my house. And I end up saying, you know what? Let me file bankruptcy. My mom taught me at a young age the power of Chapter 13, bankruptcy. So I filed Chapter 13 and I said, ooh, I could get away with this. I don't have to pay rent, but if I rent the house out, I could take that rent money and have some semi-passive income. Don't pay the rent, but I could use that money to pay the rent on my apartment while I get this job. So I got a job. I used to do collections. So after the real estate market crashed, can't pay the rents on these 4 homes that I own, I got a job calling people to pay their Sprint bill. I do very well there. I'm making $13 an hour. I collect $1 million in closed accounts in 7 months. The big boss comes down, we're gonna give you a raise. After 4 months, that raise was 25 cents. So I make $1 million for this company and they give me a quarter to say thank you. And that was another defining moment for me, on top of me almost about to lose my house because of I can't pay all the mortgage.
Right.
So when I'm about to rent my house out, this guy comes to my house and he's like, I will rent your house and I'll pay you double what you want. I wanted $3,000. He said, I'll pay you $6,000. But the only way I pay you $6,000 is if you complete this basement. I'm like, I can't afford to complete the basement. But it dawned on me the guy that I met at the party was a contractor. So I called the guy. I'm like, oh, in my mind, I'm like, I could finesse him. He gonna come over here and think I'm cute. Boom. So I call him over and I said, listen, I need this. I need you to do me a favor. I need somebody to come and complete my basement. I know you're a contractor. If you could complete my basement, we'll work out some type of payment plan. We'll figure it out. So as he's at my house going through the basement to give me an estimate, he looks down at me. Mind you, I didn't know he was married. He looks down at me and say, do you or anybody you know want to lose 5 pounds in 5 days without diets, exercise, surgery, or pills? And I looked at him. I'm like, you trying to call me fat? And he was like, no, my wife. And I'm like, your wife? In my mind, I'm like, your wife? He said, yeah, no, my wife just had a baby 2 months ago and she looks finer now after she had the baby than before. You should meet her. Y'all look just alike. Y'all remind me of each other. Edification. He said, there's a meeting tomorrow. You should go. So I asked my friends, I said, let's go to this meeting tomorrow. Let's see if this man's wife real fine. Like he say, let's see what she look like. True story. I didn't go to the meeting because I didn't care nothing about the product. I didn't care nothing about the money. I just wanted to see if his wife was beautiful, like he described. Did we have any similarities? And I'll tell you this, she came, she broke down the plan. It was me and my 2 broke girlfriends.
So you did hear it from a woman.
I heard it from, yes.
The guy
introduced me to the wife.
But
the presentation was the wife.
All right.
Exactly.
All right. So but it was a team effort.
It was a team effort.
All right. Fair enough.
She breaks down the comp plan. First of all, let me back up. She pulls up in her BMW. She has a little waist.
Check.
BMW. She walks, she's dressed really nice.
Check.
Her waist is snatched.
Check.
Her butt looks like mine.
Check.
And her hair is blowing and flowing. She looks
Check.
amazing. She had on a nice watch. She was
check.
Everything. And when she broke down the business, she goes, I'm making $60,000 a month. I'm like, this is a lie. Then she said, you got to pay to get in. I said, I knew they wanted my money. You know, broke people, we always think that people want the money we don't have. And we always think everything is a scam. But that day, Eric, I said, if I could make at least $1,000 a month, my job gave me a 25-cent raise. All right, that $1,000 would that actually make up for the quarter. So if I keep my job and do this network marketing thing, I can make an extra $500 to $1,000. That'll pay the bills. So that day I wrote a bad check to get in because at the time the company took checks. My friends were like, you're so stupid. Because remember, she presented it in front of me and my friends. My 2 girlfriends were like, you're stupid. This is a scam. But I just felt like, okay, if a little bit of this is correct, my life could change.
Yeah.
So I signed up. That was almost 16 years ago with a
Bad
bad check.
check.
Bad check. My mom told me I was stupid. She would laugh at me. She would shake her head and look at me every time I would pass her room. My girlfriend said I was stupid. Like everybody disappeared when I signed up. Like I got the plague or some type of disease. They all vanished from me. But I get in and I tell you, I believed in the product. I didn't believe in me. I didn't even understand the compensation plan.
Really? You didn't believe in you after all this survival?
No.
After all this ability to kind of finesse your way through life?
No. But I believed in the product. I didn't believe in me at all. It was the product first that gave me the confidence because the product was so effective.
It worked.
That's why I love physical products because I could use the product to create leverage and, belief. You know, it's a great tool to kind of like influence people if you got a good product. So it wasn't me that I believed in. It was really the product.
So when they laid out the business, you didn't really believe in the business.
I didn't understand it.
But there was a bunch of social proof in front of you.
The wife was beautiful. Yep.
And probably some other people around. And you're looking at the story and it's just, if this is like partially true, I've got enough.
500 to 1,000 would change my life.
I got enough hustle in me that if this product's not a lie.
Exactly. It's not. I knew it wasn't.
Then I should be able to make enough money here to be able to have a foundation. That was the
$500 to $1,000 was my visual goal. It wasn't becoming a millionaire.
Yeah.
It wasn't to get a BMW like her. It was this job gave me this 25 cents. This is not enough. My water was off again at my house as an adult. That cycle. My water was off. My car was in repossession status. My sunroof used to fly off. So it would rain outside and rain in my car. And here's an opportunity where this lady says I can make $60,000 a month, whatever. I don't believe that. I can make 500 to 1,000. That'll help me out and keep my job. So it wasn't about freedom and, oh my God, I'm being a millionaire. And no, it was like 500 to 1,000 could pay the car note, put the water on and give me some extra income.
So you write the check that you got to hustle in order to be able to make sure you cover the check.
I didn't care to cover the check. I know that you got weeks. You got to go in again, like 3 times before you finally got to pay. So I knew I had about 2 months at least before they really catch me.
All right. So tell me about your first 90 days.
So I get in and I thought, man, I'm about to make $500 to $1,000. The first company that I was in, we sold these garments. I said, okay, all I got to do is look fine like her, go to work and talk to all the girls at my job. And in my mind, I said, okay, if I could
you said, I thought it was about losing 5 pounds.
It was a garment. It wasn't nutrition. It was a garment that you put on. It was like a reshaper waist trainer thing. It was like clothes, Spanx something like that.
All right, got
intense Spanx.
And super intense Spanx.
Super intense Spanx. So my first thought process is my customers is going to be all of my coworkers. I'm going to get all of my coworkers to buy because that product gave me the capacity to earn retail money right away.
Right.
So we sold the product for $150. We only paid $75 for it. So that $75 cash was exciting for me. So my goal was to make $150 a day. That was going to give me my raise that my boss never gave me. And I was going to start off with getting everybody at my job to buy.
Yeah.
So I would wear the product and I would bring extra with me and sample people, hey, try it on, try it on, try it on. And day one, everybody went crazy. I probably sold like 3 day one.
And how long did it take before the boss said you can't sell no more?
Well, I quit before the boss said I couldn't sell no more.
But it was coming, probably.
I was very disruptive at work. I was very disruptive, but I was so good.
Yeah.
So I was so good on the phones that they didn't want to fire me. They loved me.
Okay.
But I was being disruptive because everybody was in love with the product. They would come to my desk all day. My desk was like the trap spot.
Right.
So when I saw how much money I was making at the job, I was like, wait a minute. I was about to run out of clients from the job because everybody had it. So by day 4, I just quit my job. I didn't go back.
4 days in.
4 days in. But this is what I did.
How much did you make in those 4 days?
I probably made about $2,000.
$2,000.
Cash. But let me tell you what I did. I knew that I needed more time because I had my kids. I'm a single mom. I got to pick them up. I'm in traffic.
The kids are up in Atlanta now?
The kids are in Atlanta now. My 2 kids are in Atlanta now. I got to help them, back and forth from school. I got to pick them up, daycare, all of that. And I knew I needed more time. So when I quit my job in 4 days, I said, I'm going to work this thing like a job. So I would literally get up every day like I was going to work. And my goal was I cannot come home until I made $150 a day. So there was no Instagram. It was MySpace when I first started. And we didn't know about promoting online. Like that wasn't like a thing. I knew to go into the stores, go to the beauty salon. So I was like one of those hustlers that would, hey man, can I ask you a question? Like I would go around
right.
And I would talk to people and I would keep the garment in my bag. And I would put the garment on you in Target and Walmart's and the grocery store and the nail shop. I would put you on the floor and I'll put the garment on you. I would see a woman, oh my God, you are so beautiful, girl. Who did your hair? Come here. Who did your hair? Let me ask you a question. Do you or anybody you know want to lose 5 pounds? So I was
You had your
very,
little script.
if I could do this, come here, girl. You are so cute, girl. Look at that hair. So I did not play. I was outside every day and I would not come home. And my reward, right, was, wow, I'm home at 12 o'clock today. Celebrate, girl. You almost free. You ain't have to work till 5. I would celebrate that I was able to make 150 and not have to leave, and leave my area because I live close to a shopping plaza. But I would celebrate the 150 a day,
too.
cash, and I would celebrate when I made it early. So by 2 weeks in, I gave myself a raise. Okay, now you can't come home until you make 300. And I literally would measure.
Doubled it.
If you don't make $300, Stormy, you're punished. You can't come home. So I literally tracked my success by how much money I made. I didn't follow up with people. I didn't want nobody to sign up. If you tried to sign up, no. I wanted to be the only one exclusively with the product. So I would try to discourage you from signing up. I only wanted my best friends and my mom to do it.
So you didn't understand the leverage yet.
I didn't understand the leverage yet.
It was all about scarcity.
It was all about.
You wanted control of the supply.
That's it. I remember I'm a boutique owner. I'm a stripper, schemer, scammer. All I know how to do is buy for wholesale.
This is my customer.
Sell for retail. Yeah, and I want the world to call Stormy for the product.
Got it.
So if all y'all have it, then I'm not going to make no money.
Right.
So I would deter you if you found out that you could sign up. No, that's stupid. Don't do that, girl. That's too hard. I would really discourage you. But let me tell you what happened. I got a check in the mail. This is when they would mail physical checks.
Mm-hmm.
The check showed up and I'm like, ooh, these people made a mistake. They paid me by mistake. That's why they pay me. All I understood was retail. I didn't understand. And I was qualified, active, only because I was buying inventory.
You got extra overrides based upon your volume.
So the company at that time paid like 5 ways.
Yeah.
And I was doing the comp plan stuff. So people would sign up with me and I didn't know. And every time I would buy the product, I would get volume, whatever. So I got my check for $5,000.
So they're signing up.
Without me knowing.
So you got a check for $5,000.
$5,000. When that check came in the mail, I'm like.
Was that first month, second month?
First month. $5,000.
And you went, this has to be a mistake.
I went to the check cashers. I went
I'm
to the check
cashing this thing as fast as possible.
Not in my bank account. Because if they made a mistake, I'm not giving them this money back. This is a true story now. I went to the check cashers, paid a big fee. I had a bank account at Bank of America.
Sure.
But if they made a mistake and they try to take this money back, no, because I was broke. I needed the money. So I went to the check cashers, cashed the check. And it wasn't until months later I found out that, no, I legitimately earned the check. Because I was listening to a training call and they was talking about fast start and all of these different ways to pay. And I looked at the check and I was like, oh, shoot.
That's
the
how
check,
it works.
That's what I did. So I would look at my checks, and my checks was how I would learn what to do more of.
And when you got that, you went, wait a minute, bringing people in might be a good idea.
I was like, oh, when I looked at the check and I saw the fast start bonuses and I saw how much I made, I'm like, who? First of all, I didn't even know who the people were, but I saw the biggest part of my check was recruiting people because they paid you off the packages.
Sure.
And I was like, okay, my check literally was my training tool. Every check, I would say, I got to do more of this. I got to do more of this.
And, well, let me clarify. You didn't get paid for recruiting. You got paid for the sales that were made, right?
When they signed up, they bought packages.
Yes, but still from the sales.
From the sales, yes.
Yeah. So nobody gets paid for recruiting.
No.
For clarity.
From the sales,
you
exactly.
You got paid from the sales that happen ultimately to consumers.
There you go.
That's how you got paid.
Exactly.
So then did you shift from I'm going to sell X number a day to I'm going to recruit X number a day?
That's when I realized the methodology between retail to recruit. Like everyone that bought, like literally everybody that bought wanted to continue to buy. And so I said, wow, I got to keep doing this.
Do
So
they need more than one?
They didn't need more than one. We had options. We had a booty one, a stomach one. We had all different kinds. And then they had nutrition too.
Okay.
So once they had faith in that one product, they started buying more.
Yeah.
And then like what I teach is retail to recruit.
Right.
People try the product, they love it, they want more. Why would you send a sale to me? Join. And so they started building. Like this thing was happening by default. I wasn't being a leader. I wasn't doing training calls and saying, hey, let's do a super side. I didn't know what none of that was. I literally just started to see residuals and my check was growing because I was the example.
Right.
People would, sign up in different states, like behind my back.
Like how much you make month one?
5,000.
How much?
That 5,000 through the company, but my retail sales was like 2,000. Says 7,000.
So month two.
12,000.
Month three.
13,000.
Okay. So it's growing.
It's growing.
And you feel like this could be it.
Yep.
When did it feel real to you and it didn't feel like I better hurry and get as much money out of this thing as I can because who knows how long it's going to last?
Great question. When I started going to the meetings, like I would go to the meetings and I would bring people with me and the people was like excited, like uncontrollably excited. I realized the power of excitement. Long as they stayed excited and the company stayed in business and we made the noise and we looked the part, that they wouldn't go anywhere. So I realized the power of the meeting. The meetings would do something to the people. Like I didn't have to do anything. I just had to get you to come with me to the meeting. If I could get you to the meeting, I got you.
And that was in Atlanta?
That was in Atlanta. The meetings was when you pulled up, the house was nice. Everybody had their cars outside. Like they knew the game of network marketing. So the leaders was in the front. They looked nice. They was professional. Everybody smelled good. They was fabulous. I was like, I just got to get you to the meeting. So I would literally go to people's houses, pick them up. I was that girl.
Right.
I would literally sell you on, you got to come to this meeting.
Right.
And the meetings made my business take off without me doing anything. The meetings did all the work.
So do you think it was the meetings that started to make you think that this was for real?
Yes.
That it could last?
Yes.
All right.
Majorly. It was the family environment. It was the education. It was how people would be excited and how quick people started to make money. If it was no meetings, I wouldn't be here today. If there was no meetings, I would not be here today.
Same with me.
Wow.
But your whole life, your guard was up.
Yep.
With everybody.
Yep.
Including your boss that gave you 25 cents, all that stuff.
Yep.
How long was your guard up inside of network marketing?
Wow.
Or is it still up?
My guard is still up.
Is it?
Yeah. It's still up, but I know I have a lot of leverage in network marketing. So it's up, but I tell people it's like I'm unfuckwithable. Like my guard up, but you can't do nothing about it.
Right.
Nobody can do nothing about who I am in network marketing. I am a beast that has taken off and you can't stop the beast.
Right.
So I still have my guard up.
Yeah. And what that means is total unconditional trust is going to be very difficult for you.
I have trust in Stormy.
Right.
I don't trust a lot of people, but I trust me. So as long as I trust me.
Very few beyond that.
Yeah. If I trust me, I'm going to be fine.
Yeah.
I don't trust nobody.
Right.
I don't.
But
it's a good thing. I'm not scared.
No. I'm not calling good or bad.
Yeah.
I'm just curious, as to everything that happens leads to everything that happens, and how we grow, how we build. First year, how much you make? About?
I made 1.4 in my first 12 months.
1.4 million.
My first year.
And I'll bet you spent every penny.
Every penny. That's when I had the pure misconception of what residual income meant. They told me residual income never goes away.
Forever. They're the ones have it for forever.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
Like for real.
So a lot of people think.
Yeah. I thought that. That's what I was trained. That you're rich, you're good.
Yeah.
I didn't know that people could quit and go to other companies and stop buying.
You talk shit.
I didn't, I experienced that my first year, 1.4 million. And then I ended up having to leave my first company. I ended up leaving that company. And that's when I learned.
How long in?
I stayed in that company from 2005 to 2009. No, 2010. And then I left and I went to Organic Gold.
Okay.
And that's when my life changed.
You're selling coffee.
I'm selling hope, inspiration, time, freedom, loyalty, and leadership. We wasn't really selling coffee.
Yeah, I know.
That's what they taught us.
Yeah.
The product doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It's about the leadership.
Yeah.
That's when I first learned that.
Do you still believe that the product doesn't matter?
I don't believe that. I think the product matters.
I think the product matters too.
But I used to think it didn't matter.
Right. No, a lot of people did.
It matters.
That you can build and you can sell water bottles or number 2 pencils, or doesn't matter. It's just game. Sell hope, and
That's it.
the product is an excuse to hang around with each other. But good training ground there. There's probably some good lessons you learned there and some not so good lessons that you learned there. If I were to guess,
Yep.
Some things that you watched happen that you said, I'm not going to do that in the future.
Right.
And probably some things that rubbed off on you that you repeated,
Right.
in your future.
Yep.
Because ultimately that company, I don't want to say blew up, but it ultimately did not long-term succeed.
Right.
It ended up being sold,
Right.
now under a slightly different name. They're moving forward with it. The big charismatic founder moved on to do lots of other things.
Right. Right.
Um,
Exactly.
You found your home that you're with now when?
This November makes 10 years.
10
I will
years.
have been here for almost a decade.
Okay. So 10 years, you find this company and you say, okay, I'm going to build here.
Yep.
I'm going to do this.
Yep.
What sold you? People, idea, timing, product.
So I call it the 4 P's.
Okay.
People, product, process, paycheck.
Okay.
Number 1, the people, for sure. Number 2, the product. Number 3, the process. And number 4, the paycheck, the compensation plan.
Okay.
That's what still sells me to this very day.
Got it. So to say that your last 10 years have been a roller coaster would probably be an understatement.
Yes.
I mean, highest of highs,
Yes.
lowest of lows.
Yes.
Tremendous friendships,
Yep.
outrageous betrayals,
Yes.
lessons learned,
Yep.
growth,
Yep.
still
Learning.
learning, healing, working.
I think I'm healed already from my network marketing trauma.
Do you?
Yep.
All the
I don't
way?
think I have none left.
All the way?
I think so.
Wow.
All of it. I don't think I have no network marketing hurt. None.
Good. Yeah, it took me a long time to let go of the trauma that I went through. I get reminded of it occasionally.
Yep.
And when I get reminded of it, I was just reminded of it last week, a couple people, and it the only emotion I had when I was reminded of it was gratitude.
Exactly.
I was grateful that it happened.
Exactly.
Because if it didn't happen, then I wouldn't have grown.
Exactly.
I wouldn't be stronger. I wouldn't be here. All of that stuff. It was all necessary.
Yes.
Every piece of it was necessary.
Yes.
All the mistakes were necessary. All the challenges were necessary. Their learning experiences were necessary.
Exactly.
And learning to forgive myself
Exactly.
as well as forgive others.
Yep.
Take my piece.
Yep.
Instead of just putting it on their piece.
Exactly.
Was part of my growing up
Yep.
process.
Exactly.
Dealing with ego.
Yep.
Because, when you're a 7-figure earner and then you're not for a second.
Right.
I mean, people say it's better to have loved and have lost than have never loved at all.
Mm-hmm.
That's like saying it's better to have been rich and then been poor than never to have been rich at all.
Mm-mm.
No.
Richer and for richer.
No.
Right. Not for me.
Because once you have a taste,
Exactly.
everything else feels like, what am I do not belong here.
I don't even want to live.
This does not make sense.
No, at all.
This paycheck does not reflect who I am at
Exactly.
all. What is going on?
Thank you.
But you can react a couple different ways when that happens,
Yep.
right? One is to get bitter,
Yep.
to blame,
Right.
to leave,
Right.
to find some other shiny penny,
Right.
to tear everybody else up,
Right.
But ultimately, none of those things fix the problem.
Right.
Ultimately, you got to look in the mirror and say, what
Right.
piece of this is on me?
Exactly. Right.
And what can I do better for the next build?
Right.
And accepting the fact that we're in two businesses. We're in the building business and we're in the rebuilding business.
Exactly.
There's no such thing as build it once, have it for forever.
No.
In any business, in any profession.
That's good. Yep.
It doesn't exist.
Right.
So emotionally, a lot of people don't have it in them
It's not easy.
to go back and do what they did to get where they were.
Right.
If they lost it for some reason.
Right.
And I think one of the biggest reasons why there's timing situations, there's, pandemic created its issues, competition creates issues, ego creates issues, company making stupid mistakes creates issues.
Right.
Lots of things create issues. But I think it all comes down to leadership in the end.
Exactly.
Right?
I agree.
So, one, working to identify people who could be a leader, right?
Right.
If they're willing, coachable, and hungry,
Right.
then you can work with them.
Right.
Right? Looking for that. Two is mentoring those people. If they're willing to be mentored, mentoring those people into leadership skills.
Right.
Three is strengthening those people into strong leaders.
Right.
And then four, and this is the one most people miss. I missed it. I think for a season you missed it. Not to judge you.
I can't wait to hear it.
And you can tell me if you
Okay.
think I'm wrong. Is staying in great relationship with those people after they've become strong leaders.
Mm-hmm.
And being willing to respectfully, behind closed doors, negotiate out the important stuff, have a united front for your team, let everybody have their own style.
Right.
But I used to think that once they were a leader, they could leave the nest.
Exactly.
And I didn't realize how much damage could be caused when there was division
Right.
within the team between one leader or another.
Yeah.
And how much it could cut into your check and how much it could hurt people's feelings and everything else. So do you agree that that was a lesson that you learned?
Very much so.
Like I did?
Very much so.
Yeah. For me, that fourth piece of staying in great relationship, which takes enormous amount of maturity.
It does.
Because if you do a good job of developing a strong leader,
yes.
Strong, not a follower, not a good soldier, not somebody who's going to do whatever you say, but a strong leader. Well, then now it's a different tone in the conversation. It's a different tone in how you're going to work things out and how you're going to figure out your systems together and how you're going to share the stage and how you're going to communicate to the team and how you're going to then let everybody have their own style, and that's fine. But on the substance, things remain relatively stable. And when you don't do that, man, can it splinter fast.
Yes, pretty
It
sad.
can splinter in 8,000 million trillion directions.
Pretty sad.
And that's hard. It's hard when that happens.
Yes.
And the easy road for me, because once I feel disrespected,
Yep.
I will ice somebody out so fast. They will. They won't cross my mind anymore.
Right.
They're out. If this is the target and a bullseye, they're out here.
Right.
And I'm working here. Close to the bullseye with the people who are here.
Right.
They're out there and they got some work to do to get back in. That's how I operate for whatever reason. It's probably not the most mature, but it is.
Right.
If somebody disrespects my boundaries or me or whatever, I'll own my piece of it, but there's work to be done if we're going to be kind of hanging out in the same environment.
Exactly.
Right. So what caused you to put the work clothes back on? Because there's a million things you could do.
Right.
Back in the day, you didn't have a lot of options.
Right.
You needed $600.
Right.
So skirts going up.
Exactly.
Right. Or whatever.
Exactly.
So now today, how many things could you do?
A lot.
You could do a lot of things and make good money.
Right.
Network marketing can be repetitive. It can be boring. It could be the same old shit.
Right.
It could be emotional.
Right.
You're back to changing diapers again, signing up brand new people.
Right.
Answering the same questions, right? Having to deal with quote unquote teenage immature leaders.
Right.
After somebody's had a taste of success like you did at the highest level, and then to have mayhem, and then to say, you know what? You don't look like I got work clothes on right now, but to put your work clothes back on and say, nope, I'm going to build it again.
Right.
Most people don't have the guts to do that. What caused you to say, of all the choices that I have, all the things I could do, I'm going to choose to go back to the network marketing business that gave me this first start, and I'm going to build it again?
Right.
What caused you to do that?
It's a few things. First of all, I am big on integrity, and many people don't know that, but I'm like one of those people. It's 3 things I believe. Don't forget those that helped you in your time of need. Don't forget those that hurt you in your time of need, and don't forget those that left you in your time of need. Network marketing helped me in my time of need, like the industry, right? It helped me. It is the only vehicle that allowed me to be the successful woman that I am today. How could I forget? This is the vehicle that allowed me to make millions of dollars. I've coached 139 first generational millionaires, and my career this year makes 16 years. I am certain that I understand network marketing. I could do other things and I make money in other areas, but nothing gives me the level of certainty like the industry of network marketing. I know it like the back of my hand. Network marketing is inside of me, it's not on me. And I know that I pray prayers, that there's things I ask God, like, God, if you help me one more time, I won't forget about the people. And network marketing was a vehicle that he gifted me. So I feel this responsibility, and I know that this may not be understood to many people that's going to watch this. And I hope that this is not received the wrong way. I feel like network marketing needs me, and I need it. What would the industry do without me? I am the Black woman that shows people that it's possible. And I feel proud to go back and do it again. I'm back doing the basic stuff that you would never think a woman of my caliber is supposed to do. I get in these rooms, and a lot of these big players started with network marketing. And they'll tell you, no, I'm not doing it anymore. And it actually breaks my heart, because I feel like, why can't you do all the other things you're doing and still keep your pulse on network marketing?
Do you think they're too cool for it or something?
I think that they do think they're too cool for it. Network marketing, I don't know why, it's like a industry that's kind of taboo, that people feel like it's for the underdogs. I'm gonna tell you, a lot of my new strategies is I gotta go in like a decoy another way. And once I get in, it's hi, I'm the network marketing girl. I know you didn't know that. I got in this way, but this is who I am over here. So it's I don't mind doing what I gotta do to ease my way in another way, because network marketing is not as respected as it should be. Mm-hmm. So I just feel like I'm gonna change that. I just feel responsible for helping to change the narrative. And whether that's true or not, I like how I feel about it. So it gives me confidence that I could take you from zero to hero. I could do it. I may not be able to do it over there or over there. I could do it, but can I take you to millionaire status? I haven't done it yet.
If they're hungry enough, right?
Yeah, I'm 44 years old. I've coached 139 first generational millionaires. I did that. I did it. I didn't make you, but I work with you. When you made your most money, Stormy Wellington was there. You may be alive now. You're still, striving. But when you were thriving, I was there. I know the calls I had. I know the things I did. I know the books I told you to read. I know the way I held your hand. So my confidence is in what I could do in network marketing. And it just feels good. it wakes me up in the morning excited about life. So I just love what I get to do. And I know that who is going to be the Black or brown woman like me to be the example? I don't know another. I don't know another woman that could represent the lane that I could represent the way I can. So I'm willing to take that responsibility. And I believe that I'm going to go up in history as one of the greatest network marketers that ever lived. And I'm going to do it in a way in which people are not going to understand. Like I love Frank Sinatra's song, My Way. Like that's my song. You heard that song before?
Sure.
Like I love that song. And I'm going to do it my way. And people in the end are going to say, okay, I get it. And however long that takes, I'm willing to be that person, to be the example. So I take pride in the lane that I've helped to create in the industry of network marketing. And I refuse to go out without completing my mission of 1,000 millionaires. Like I set the goal real high. I only have 139. I got 600 and some odd to go. 700 something to go. I got a long way to go. So I love the mark that I set for myself and the way that I know nobody can do it like me. I just believe that 800 and something to go.
Whatever.
It's a lot.
A lot.
I don't even keep the number in my head, but I know I got a long way to go. So I just have a lot of confidence in it.
I compliment you because not a lot of people have the strength and the humility to be able to rebuild.
I know. It's not easy.
Most will blame and go try and find and do something else than to rebuild. They'll build some other career. They'll write a book. They'll do something rather than to go back to the thing that got them where they were in this profession. You know, I believe that our profession isn't perfect, but it's better for the average person to be able to test themselves out to see if they can be an entrepreneur.
And how do you see that though? To me, the only way you see that is through an example. Like you have to have more examples. And so that's where I am right now. Like I believe that if you forget where you came from, you easily repeat. So I'm not repeating where I came from. No way. So the only way we prove what we believe is by creating new stories. So I'm challenged by the new stories. I'm challenged by that new girl who never thought she could be a first generational millionaire. And now look at her. Like I love it. And the industry of network marketing is the easiest, most affordable, most fastest way to do it.
Yeah.
I'm sorry that the world doesn't know that yet, but I'm going to help the world to know that. Like I take pride in that.
Well, listen, Stormy Wellington, I am grateful that you were here. I'm grateful that we had this conversation and grateful that I learned more of the story, you know, because we've just known each other as peers and hanging out and being in masterminds and sharing ideas and talking strategy.
Right.
Figuring out what we can do together.
Right.
Become friends over the years.
Thank you.
Hopefully I'm one of the people that you trust at least a little.
I do.
Doesn't have to be all the way, and I get that.
All right.
But at least a little.
I want to tell you when I say I don't trust. When I say I don't trust.
I think I understand it, but go ahead.
You think I want to say this so the world can hear this, right? I don't trust like somebody's maliciously trying to do something to attack me or to hurt me, right? Mm-hmm. I realize that your truth is your truth. So you may do something that is your truth, but it counteracts the bigger vision. So I don't trust to the degree, like I'm not going to stop doing things my way that I know that has worked for me to digress to your way. So when I say trust, it's like, I get what you're saying, Mr. Jack. I get what you're saying, Mr. Warrior. I get what you're saying, all of y'all. But there's a little thing that I do that y'all might not understand. So I can't die to my knowingness to live to your knowingness that may not work for what I know works. So I don't trust that other outside sources are always understanding the way I do things. Yeah. So I have developed this understanding that they don't understand how I do things. So I can't trust that you get it. So because you don't get it, let me just do it my way. And when it comes together, it's like, oh, I see what you're doing now. Right. That's what I mean when I say trust.
So Jim Rohn used to say, be a product of your own conclusions. Listen to all of it. Take all the notes.
I love that.
Listen to all the stuff. But then you decide.
I love that.
Based upon all the feedback that you got, what is right for you.
See, I never heard that.
And be a student of results.
Thank you.
You know? So I think that's what you're doing.
Exactly.
But you are a blessing to our lives. You're a blessing to our mastermind. You're a blessing to our profession. You're a blessing to your company. You're a blessing to your family.
Thank you.
You're a blessing to your man. You're a blessing to your friends.
Thank you.
Years to come.
Yes.
And blue sky ahead.
Very much so.
We got a lot of stuff to do.
Very much so.
Mad love to my friend.
Thank you. Thank you for, I was telling Lisa Bill you yesterday, like how long I've been in you guys' ecosystem and just your whole lives. And she was like, really? It's been that long? I said, oh yeah. I remember when people, mentors of mine told me, don't follow you. Don't listen to him. And I was like, why? And it was like, you just don't ever do that. And so I stepped away. But I saw our relationship growing. And I told her yesterday, like every big milestone in my career, you and Marina was there. She was like, really? I said, yeah. A lot of who I am today, I want to tell you thank you. Because you've expanded my mind. You gave me something else to want to strive for. Like when I got inducted into the $1 Million Hall of Fame, like that was, imagine that being the most important goal that I want to hit. Like I'm going to get on that stage. Like I miss those days, the stage, the big arena.
Yeah.
And I'm so grateful that I was able to experience that. And that was something that I wanted to do. And that's still one of my most special awards that I keep inside my house. It's heavy. I be mad that the date isn't on it because I'm like, what date did I get this again? But I just want to tell you, like, GoPro and being in the $1 Million Hall of Fame and just you and Marina and just all what you all have taught me. I want to say thank you. You all have made a huge impact on my life in the industry because of what you've taught me and the exposure that you've given me. So thank you.
Well, you're very welcome. And here's what I will tell you. I've made a decision at this point in my life that I'm going to a place that I've never been. And to do that, I have to become a different version of myself. And I can sense and I know that you're going to a place that you've never been.
Yes.
A whole other plateau.
Yes.
What I've realized in the last couple of years is there's levels to this stuff.
Yes.
And you and I both, as much as we've done, we're still playing in the kiddie games.
I know.
There's so many more levels and so much more contribution to bring to the world. I can't wait to see what we do.
Thank you. I can't wait. It's going to be big.
It's going to be big.
I know it. Up to 120 years young.
Yes, let's go. Appreciate you.
Cheers.
So that's my conversation with Stormy Wellington. You can find her wherever you can find Coach Stormy or Stormy Wellington. We'll put all her links in the show notes. But make sure if somebody needs to hear this message that you pass it on to them. You pay this forward. I would appreciate it. Help us spread the word. Network marketing isn't perfect, but it is better. Until next time, go out there and make it an amazing day. Take care.